Welcome to Om Times TV, a division of Om Times Media and Broadcasting. Welcome to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa Caprio. Do you believe in magic? What if you were told that all you had to do was get a little creative and work a magic spell to bring anything you can imagine into your life? Here on Postcards to the Universe, we will share manifesting, tips, postcards, creativity, abundance, and prosperity. Here's your host, Melissa Caprio.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa, creating the life you crave. How is everybody doing? I'm so happy it's Wednesday. It's actually my birthday week this week. My birthday's on Friday, so I'm really excited about today's show. I have a really interesting two guests that are joining me, Christy Levy and Temple Bodley, and they are channelers, and they will be joining me in just a couple of minutes. So if you're new to my show, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. You can go through the archives of all the shows every week. I'm twice a month now. I'm the first and third Wednesday of the month. I love to have guests. I love to have these kind of conversations. You could see some of the amazing guests that I've had in the past. And a little about me. I'm a photographer. I'm an artist. I have a book, which is above my head, Postcards to the Universe, Harness the Universe's Power and Manifest Your Dreams. And what I do is I have people create manifesting postcards, which I photograph. And I made those into an oracle deck. So I pulled a card for today. And this is a photo I took. And the affirmation for today is, I inspire by how I live my life. And I thought, oh, this is the perfect card for today. And you will see why in a few minutes when I talk with my guests, because you're going to see how much they inspire by what they're doing and how they're living their life. And a little else about me, I am on now YouTube. So the show is streaming live on Om Times TV on YouTube. It's also streaming live on Postcards to the Universe's YouTube. On Postcards to the Universe's YouTube, I started reading the Oracle deck. I started reading tarot cards. I started reading animal oracles. I started reading the Stranger Cards deck. If you're into Stranger Things, you'll love the Stranger Cards readings that I've been doing. So I've been having so much fun. And Organized Me, I'm so organized. They're all in playlists. You can go find whatever you're interested in. And please, I would love it if you would subscribe and check it out, because I'm really trying to grow that channel. It's been so much fun doing this, and it's totally opening up my intuition, and my psychic and abilities are just coming online stronger and stronger. But I don't want to talk about me anymore, because you can watch me on my YouTube channel, and I talk about a whole bunch of things. Who I want to talk to today are my guests. So let's get ready for Christy Levy and Temple Bodley. And I am so excited for them to join me. Thank you. Okay, so hi. So let me just do a little brief. So Christy is a gifted spiritual medium who acts as a bridge to the non-physical realm, connecting with spirit guides, transition loved ones, and higher perspectives to help pinpoint and resolve the root cause of life's blind spots. We could all use that. And Gary is a channeler for Joshua, a group of non-physical teachers. Gary specializes in grounding deep spiritual concepts, the law of attraction, love that, Gary, that's all I talk about, and the mechanics of physical reality into clear, practical action steps. And you're going to see in the description below, if you're watching, all of their information, their websites, how to contact them, and how to get in, if you want to have a reading or you want to get in touch with them, it's going to have all of that in the description. But I want to just jump right in and talk to you both. Oh, before I forget, I want to mention they also have their own podcast. It's called An Unimaginable Life, and you can watch them on their podcast. Welcome. So how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Fantastic. It's great
Happy
to be
birthday.
here.
Oh, thank you. June is like Christmas in my family. because my nephew, my mom, my brother-in-law, two of my cousins, my grandmother who before she passed away, me, we're all Geminis.
Wow.
We're like, it's like Gemini, and my sister is like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill you people because and then you have Mother's Day and Father's Day in there too. So it's like crazy.
It's busy.
Yeah, it is busy. So let's get started. Whoever wants to start first, how did this kind of, how do you become like a channeler? Like, how does this just happen? Everybody I know who channels has a different way it's come into their life.
Yeah, I was going to joke that I grew up in Boca, near you.
Okay, you're near me.
Then went to FAU, and in FAU they had a class on channeling, so I took that.
Hey, really?
Yeah. No one would take that class.
I would think.
Maybe now, but
Yeah. But so I was a totally normal person, lived a normal life. I had a real estate business, and everything was going fine. Never thought anything like this would happen. And then in 2013, I get this really strong inspiration to start meditating. And I had never wanted to meditate before. The last thing I ever wanted to do was be alone with my thoughts. But I saw Jerry Seinfeld was really into TM and Howard Stern. And so at the time, I had been listening to Abraham. I had really gotten into Abraham, Esther Hicks of Abraham. And so they had these 4 guided meditations. So I just put those on, and, like the first day, I could only go a minute. There's so many thoughts. But soon I could go for the whole 15 minutes of the thing. And right away, I felt this presence on the side of my head, always coming when I first started meditating, and they would move around the side of my head. And I go, this is really weird. And I didn't know what that was. And it came every single time. So one day I started talking to it as if it was a presence. And I was asking these questions and getting back these answers that, it was in my own voice, but it wasn't something I would have said or known about. And so I played with it, and I didn't really believe it. But eventually I said, who is this? And very clearly I got back, we are Joshua.
Wow.
Right? Didn't know what that was. Didn't know what's going on here. Still thought I was making it up. But this kept going from the summer of 2013 until November 15th, 2013, when they said, get up and go right. So I just got up and I went to my computer to start typing. I typed 3 pages in about 40 minutes or so and didn't know what it was. Turns out that was the introduction to the first book, which is called A Perception of Reality. And then I went back the next day, 40 minutes. Next day, didn't miss one day. In 8 weeks, this 300-page book was done. I would leave off in the middle of a paragraph one day, come back right where it was, no editing, no changing it, just typos. And it was completely done, right? Just had to do the typos. But then the next day, said, go write again. So I go back in, start writing, and that was the introduction to the next book, which is Health, Wealth, and Love. Also done in 8 weeks, also 300 pages. And since then, there's been 2 more books, A Radical Change and The Joshua Diet. So this, sort of took a life of its own. I had friends in the Abraham community, so I was sending them out what was being written every day, and they would send it out to friends. And then I had a book, and I sent that out to a few people. Then got met the lady who ran the Law of Attraction Radio Network, and she's like, you got to start a podcast. So I started Joshua. It was called the Joshua, or the Law of Attraction Roundtable, because I wasn't speaking at the time. I was just writing.
You were just writing.
I never thought I never thought I would speak it. But then I was invited to be on the Law of Attraction cruise as one of the speakers.
Yeah,
and on
I've heard of that cruise.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. On that cruise, I was hypnotized, and Joshua came in through speaking.
Oh,
and since then it's been, it's been on,
like the floodgates just opened.
Open. Yeah, a community built around it, and then we started the Joshua Live podcast, which is every week Joshua channeling in front of a group of people on Zoom, and so we just make that into a podcast.
That's great.
And so I was still, I was just living my life. and just doing this bit by bit, but like an hour a day. And then I had the inspiration to buy a house for a retreat. And I really wanted to do these retreats. We had done cruises and we had gone to like Vegas and stuff before, but I wanted to have a place to do it. And so I found this house in North Carolina. There was a Victorian mansion, a big 5-bedroom house built in 1900.
That sounds like the place that you want to go to a retreat, right?
Oh my God, it was so great. But it hadn't been lived in for 15 years. So it needed total renovation.
Oh, wow.
So I move up there and I'm staying at my friend's house while the house is being renovated, and then finally move in. And when I move in, I had run out of money and I didn't know what I was going to do because I couldn't do real estate up there. And so then the inspiration came to create a course, and that was all channeled, and it's called the Boot Camp. And so I offered it to people who were listening to the podcast and stuff. And Christy was one of those people. That's how we met. And so Christy took the boot camp. She came to the first retreat. We became really good friends. And then now Christy can tell her story.
Yeah. Now, Christy. Yeah. Now I want to hear how you. So that's really interesting. Like, I wonder if Christy, obviously meeting Gary was kind of what opened up maybe your floodgates, stuff that you already had, like moving around in you, and there's always a catalyst, Okay, so go ahead, tell us how it happened for you.
I think so. I mean, I was I'd been listening to Abraham and Esther for 20 years.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I listened for a while.
And I'd just gotten to a point where I think I'd gotten as far as I could get. There were things I don't know how to change my vibration. I don't know what you mean, right?
Yeah.
So I did the potluck, whatever, the roulette spin on different podcasts, and I saw Joshua Live, and I started listening, and that light bulb went, oh my God, it is the most logical next step to someone who's been listening to Abraham for a long time. Yeah. Just practical and so good. So I listened for a few days, but then reached out to him. I took the boot camp. And the way that he had the boot camp design was really cool, but you could take it once, and once you paid for it and took it one time, you could take it as many times as you want. So he would run the boot camp, 3 or 4 times a year, and I did it 8 times.
Oh, wow.
The interesting thing about that, and what somebody listening to what would a boot camp be, it really was this course that it was complex and immersive, but it was just designed to raise your perspective on yourself and your reality, help you process your limiting beliefs. How do you know what they are? We don't know what they are, but it taught me all of that. So I did it 8 times, and I think I really knew when to stop. Every time I did the boot camp, I would find something new in it, or I would read a paragraph. This wasn't here before, right? And Gary would say, I didn't change it. It's been the same course. But I think after a while, then eventually the 8th time, I saw nothing new, and I went, okay, I think I think I've done it. I've done it enough. And it was right after that I was actually visiting with Gary in North Carolina, and we had other friends there, and a friend's grandmother came in.
Okay.
And it would take a very long time to explain how that occurred, right? But she did, and I had no idea, and definitely mediumship wasn't something I even believed in at the time, right? That talking to dead people, I was pretty skeptical. So when it came through, and that's how, right? It was
So when it came through, you were a little shocked. You weren't you were wanting to open up your intuitive abilities. You wanted to maybe manifest better, law of attraction. You weren't thinking like, oh my God, all of a sudden now I'm opening up to people who passed on. Talk to me.
I didn't think of myself as being psychic. I didn't care. I wasn't interested. I thought there were only a few channels on the planet, right? Abraham, Esther, Gary, and maybe a couple of others that I might have heard about, but that wasn't of interest to me. None of that was. I just wanted to feel better. And that was what the boot camp did. I didn't care about anything else. I'm glad
you said that, though. I'm really glad you said that, because I think that is what all of us do when we start doing the inner work, and whatever that ends up looking like, is that we want to feel better. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Whatever is causing you not to feel good, whatever that is, we all just want to feel better, right?
Feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a
And
lot
there
of
was,
sense.
it made no sense for me. I was healthy. I had a beautiful, healthy daughter, great family.
It doesn't
great
have
friends,
to. That's the
lovely
craziest
home,
thing.
all this stuff. But I was like, there's just something's off, right? This up and down roller coaster, all this control, right? None of this is working. And I found a different way to approach life, and it shifted my vibration so much in doing that work that unintentionally I became able to connect with spirit guides, to connect with transition loved ones, and to channel a non-physical group as well. So it just happens. I think everyone can do it.
Yeah.
It just depends, right? Once you get to that place,
Yeah.
you will. It just is just there. Yeah.
So if
It's not
somebody,
special.
you actually see clients who will come to you, Christy, and be like, oh, I'd like to connect to my grandmother or my mother if I can, and you actually work with them on that, like you
I
do that
can
one-on-one.
and do it. I do that. What my mediumship turned into very, very quickly is has been the transition loved ones will come in and blow someone's mind with what they're telling me. It blows my mind still.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They'll tell me that somebody starts crying, and how did you know that? Okay. But they do that and then they stop. They don't go into a whole lot of conversation with the person about, hey, I'm good, I'm sorry, we didn't do that. And they just don't. They introduce spirit guides who then, it's designed to take this person on, get them on a different path or direct them. It's just, that's the way I'm not a medium that comes in and says, hey, grandma says she's good and she loves you. They will do that very briefly, but mostly what they want to do is blow someone's mind so that sitting there, they go, okay, this is real. And then the spirit guides come and they say, right, do this, and off they go. It's pretty interesting.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
So how did it turn, and then how did that turn into, like, what we're going to do in the second half after we come back is we don't know who's coming through. You don't know who's coming through, but some historical figure likes to come through. Like, how did that happen?
Oh, girl. It's so funny. Oh, yeah. Gary, do you want to take it? Started by accident. We would be hanging out with friends and some a famous dead person just to entertain us, I think. Go ahead. Gary, you tell the story.
Yeah. So Chris and I got eventually into a relationship together. And so we're together in a hotel and we're sitting on the bed and talking about how unusual it is that so many rock stars and comedians die young. Just a normal conversation.
Right.
So then we go outside and we're on the patio and suddenly something's playing with Christy's hair. And it's like, what is that? And I said, let's ask who it is. And so we got all these clues, like we're going to go today because we never know ahead of time. So we got the Red Arrow camp, and we got
Chippendales.
What was this?
Chippendales.
Chippendales.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, and it was Chris Farley.
Oh my God. Okay.
And he's the first one that came in, and so, but I've been channeling this whole time, but I'm like a question guy.
Yeah.
I want to know stuff about physical reality and spirituality. And so I'm asking all these spiritual questions, and what his life was like and what he thought. And we had this great conversation. Then he goes away. And then about a half an hour later, Tom Petty comes in.
Oh my God.
And so now we have this big, conversation with Tom Petty. And it's like he's right there.
Because he is.
And we feel like we're friends with him.
That is
and we're joking with him too.
He's there.
And so we have a little speaker out there and just on our playlist playing, and suddenly here comes your girl.
Here comes my girl.
Here comes my girl.
My girl. Yeah.
Starts playing. It's not on our playlist. It just starts playing while he's talking to us.
Wow.
Right. And so this happened 30 times. And we I'm on my birthday, David Bowie came through because we have the same birthday. Talked to him for 2 hours. Then one day, do you remember how Prince came through?
Yeah, I was upstairs and I got an earworm with 3 different songs. Manic
they were
Monday, Nothing Compares to You, and
Nothing-
something else.
So like when Prince came
Yeah.
through, did you ask him like what happened? You know, there's like so mysterious about how he died. You know, like what did he say? I'm just curious now that you brought him up.
So that one's recorded.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
that was the first one.
That was the first
I'm
one.
gonna have to
recorded.
go. Okay, I'm gonna go watch that one
Yeah.
because I want to see what Prince said.
I can't remember what he said.
Marilyn Monroe came.
Mhm.
I remember this was one of the first ones that came through, and I asked her about her death, and she said, "Wouldn't you rather keep it a mystery?
Isn't the mystery more fun?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't the mystery more fun?" And that's basically.
I
what
mean,
they
it
say.
is
They
more
won't-
fun, but you know, we
Yeah.
still want to know
They rarely will talk. They will rarely talk about their death.
their deaths.
Only if it's really
They
pertinent to
don't care.
something. But they say it's very unimportant.
Why
that
do you
death is
think
easy.
that started happening to you? Like of all of like is it do you think because you guys started the podcast so they're sort of like wanting everybody to know like there's life after death, that this isn't the end, and so they could broadcast that out in a bigger way? Like what would make them, you know what I mean? Like why would they start doing that?
Well, I guess we could just say resonance.
Okay.
Right.
So Christy has this ability. It's very easy for her. I can get the question. So what happens when we do this later on, you'll see Christy will bring them in. We'll figure out who they are.
Okay.
We enter this field. The 3 of us and them enter this field, and I start getting questions to ask.
Okay.
They're actually giving me the
Oh,
questions.
good, because you're gonna have to help me because I may be clueless.
Yeah. But I think it's just for fun.
Just for fun.
I don't think it's any more
just
important.
for fun.
Melissa, they say all the time, first of all, that they're so excited to talk, right? They're so excited to come in. They're very excited when there is a channel. They say that all the time. But then they also say this was all set up. There's never a moment that this wasn't going to happen. And in fact, it's all happening in the same moment. So there's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
But mostly there's nothing serious going on here. It's just fun to play. And I think that's it. That is a lot my style. I'm not that, I could be very serious, but I just am not.
You're not.
And I think that's partly why it comes up. But it used to come in, it would just be us and 3 friends. And we'd be sitting outside and all of a sudden like, okay, you guys, and I would get some weird thing and after a while they know me and they'd say, okay, what? And it really was.
That
we
sounds
get some
fun. It
very
sounds like it's fun
profound-
at around the campfire parties at your house.
That's what it's like when we're live, right?
That's what it's
We're
like.
live. And when we started doing it for big groups, they would kick me out, not kick me out, but I would have to go somewhere else. And they would all pick a continent, a century, male or female, and say science or music or whatever, some area.
Okay.
And because it would start, and I would just have so
Sure,
many.
sure,
it was
sure.
hard for
Yeah,
me. So then I would come back and they'd say, okay, female, 1800s, United States of America, music. And it starts filtering, and then whoever comes through. And it's always really cool. So we do it that way sometimes too.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And
It's really
so
fun.
people who are listening here can go and watch those on your Zooms. Like do you
Listen.
have
Yeah, there's
or
some on
listen
YouTube,
or
but-
whatever. Listen
Right.
or whatever. Yeah, they can listen
An
to it.
Unimaginable Life.
Okay, yeah.
On Apple Podcasts.
That is
Right.
so wild. That is
Right.
fun. I mean, that's like part of the fun of it. I know a lot of people are scared of it, oh, I don't want that happening to me. See, I've always had weird experiences ever since I was little. And when a couple of years ago, when I started doing meditating too, like you, Gary, but I couldn't go quiet. So I would go on visual journeys, and on my journey, a dragon became my spirit guide, came forth. And now I see my dragon every day. But about 2 years after my sister died, my sister started showing up. She comes up. So I see her every day. So it's,
great.
it really is. My sister was developmentally disabled. She still shows up the way I knew her, but I know that's more for me than for her, kind of thing. Like that's how I need her to show up. So when people tell me these kind of things, like, this isn't crazy to me, you know, like I've seen like little fairies, like I've seen things, you know, so like I know that I'm already like, I believe it, you know, I believe that it's happening to me because I know it feels real. Like I feel closer to my sister now. I tell my mom a lot than I did when she was alive because I see her every day.
Yeah.
And it's just that she's not physically here. But when I'm in that space, I can hug her and touch her and hold her hand and kiss her. You know what I mean? So it feels very, very real to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be that plane or
Mhm.
that side of the veil or whatever it actually is more real to us than this once
Yeah.
you get your feet in both worlds. This is actually less real. This is more cartoonish to me
Yeah.
than that side,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's fascinating. I'm sure you're noticing how, I mean, just this week with the movie Disclosure coming out, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure coming out, like more and more things are showing up in our consciousness to like wake people up. Like it's not just about us being on this one earth and then we go and we're worm food, you know, like it's so much
Nope.
bigger than that. Have you noticed that in the conversations you're
Yeah.
having?
And everyone who talks about Disclosure Day too, they're like getting chills, and it's almost like there's some other, message in that whole thing that's starting to wake people up.
Ooh, I can't wait to see it.
Mhm. Yeah, people
me
talk to us
too.
and they get chills. They're getting downloads while
Ooh,
watching it. They're right.
He's
Yeah,
probably an alien. Maybe he doesn't know it yet, but Steven Spielberg's probably an alien.
Well, can you imagine that possibly his whole life was set up
to do
this one thing?
Yes.
To make this movie that awakens people?
Absolutely. I just watched Close Encounters for the Third Kind the other night because I want to watch that. I'm going to watch E.T., I think, tonight, and then I'm going to see Disclosure Day on Saturday. So I want to see how it's shifted. The story has shifted.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So I just looked at our time. Let's take our break now. And then when we come back, Christy is going to bring forth somebody. We'll figure it out. Stay tuned. I'm so excited. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Om Times TV, a division of Om Times Media and Broadcasting.
Do you have a dream that feels just out of reach? What if you could send a message to the universe and watch it come true? Hi, I'm Melissa Caprio, creator of the Postcards to the Universe project. For years, people from all over the world have sent me their dreams on a simple postcard, and I've seen incredible things happen. Postcards to the Universe, harness the universe's power and manifest your dreams, gives you the tools to create a life you love. Learn how to turn your biggest desires into a clear, powerful message the universe can hear. It's time to stop waiting and start creating. Discover your power to bring your dreams to life. This isn't just a book, it's an experience. Discover your purpose, unlock your potential, and manifest your wildest dreams. Find Postcards to the Universe by me, Melissa Caprio, wherever books are sold. Get your copy today. Start writing your story, one postcard at a time.
Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
All right, welcome back. So, Christy is going to be bringing a historical figure forward, and we're going to try to figure it out, right, Carrie? That's what we're going to do?
Yeah, it won't take long. There'll be 2 of them.
Okay.
Usually there's 2. And there's 2 already because I was doing
Okay.
it while we're going. So
Okay.
we got 'em.
And so, Carrie, I'm going to follow your lead because this is so new to me.
Okay.
So I don't know like what kind of questions to ask or anything.
Well, think about the
fine.
questions that are coming to you.
Okay.
It'll be intuitive.
Okay.
Right. And sometimes they talk so much that you don't get much of a chance to ask the question.
Okay.
It just depends.
Okay.
All right.
But it
so,
should be about something you're interested in, I'll bet.
Okay.
Both male, for sure. Interesting energy. So really soft energy. Not weak, right? Not like passive or weak, but very kind, like soft, sweet, deliberate. Definitely not rushing at all.
Can I start asking questions or no? Or do I
Let's
have to
just
wait?
let me skip
Oh,
what
okay.
what I'm gonna get from them so we can figure out who
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
Okay. I can hear a little bit. It's just got like this crazy curly hair. What? Like he's making a big deal out of the hair. Happy. Okay. It's a paintbrush. He's painting the word joy. Joy. Painting it though. Okay.
Oh, we're going to get some artists coming for you, Melissa.
That's what I was saying. I was going to ask if it was
that
an
makes,
artist.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Okay. Okay. Yeah, painting joy. All right, here we go. Of course. There are wait. Okay. Something about no mistakes. No mistakes.
No mistakes.
Happy. What's that word? Happy accident? No mistake. Happy
I know
accident.
who it is. Bob Ross.
That's right.
Bob Ross.
That's Bob.
Oh, Bob Ross, because of the painting. Okay,
Painting.
and soft
Joy.
spoken and joy, and the hair, the curly
hair.
Yep.
I don't really know him, so you guys are gonna have to. I never know who these
Yeah.
people are.
From PBS.
So
Yeah, because I'm thinking, obviously it doesn't just have to be a visual artist. I'm thinking actor, I'm thinking musician, I'm like going through like the gamut in my head,
Yeah.
The paintbrush
okay.
was the clue.
The paintbrush was the clue.
Next, he's gonna let. Okay, the next one is like, bam, totally different energy. Holy crap.
Okay.
Imagine just like a flash of light, like, okay, big smile. Oh, geez. Okay. Whew. Everywhere. Whoa. Okay. This one's impossible to contain. Holy moly. Okay. God. Keep saying gorgeous in an accent. I'm going to say it's Australian. Yeah, that's right. Okay. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Like, isn't he gorgeous? I keep saying it over again. I mean, I almost recognize the voice, but I don't have it yet.
It's not oh my God, his name went out of my head. The one that took care of the animals.
Alligator.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Gary? The guy that died. What's his name? Oh.
Okay, hold on.
Because he used to say that to his Steve Irwin.
Steve, that's who.
Steve Irwin. Yes, because he would call his crocodiles gorgeous.
Okay,
Yep.
that's why. All right. Yeah, I saw that. I could
Well,
see
you
the
said Australian. I'm thinking Australian, but then when you said gorgeous, because I remember I've never seen anybody. I just got chills. I just got goosebumps on Steve. I never seen anybody describe animals the way that he did and his enthusiasm. And he would, isn't in his accent, isn't she gorgeous? Like just like so,
yes, that's what it
like,
sounded like. Okay,
yeah,
I
like
never
just
really watched it, but I
like
did. Of
yeah,
course, he was
Steve
such
Irwin.
top.
Thank you.
I got
Oh,
it.
how
Because his
funny.
energy is so groovy.
Can
Right?
I
They
ask?
both really
Can
are.
I ask Steve anything?
They're yeah. They're let them. They're gonna talk at first. They're gonna talk about
Okay,
like,
yeah.
the
Let me know what
theme of
they
what
have
they're gonna
to say.
and then yeah. Of course, you can
Okay.
ask anything
Yeah,
that's
go
coming to your
ahead.
mind. Okay, so all right. So they say that people that are listening, they
Mhm.
often think that the idea of acceptance means just sitting still,
Mhm.
and that excitement actually means fighting life. But if you're fighting with reality, you can't really participate in it.
Mhm.
And if you're afraid to participate in it, then you'll never discover what is really there for you. So they say that the reason that they came together, they're so
Mhm.
cool together, you guys. Man, two completely opposite things, but they go so well together. But it's because your audience, right? Everybody that's
Mhm.
listening, they're exhausted from trying
Mhm.
to control life. And they just want to introduce a different way, they say, right?
Mhm.
That the discomfort and the suffering is not coming from what's happening, right?
Mhm.
It comes from arguing with what's happening.
Right.
And when the painting doesn't match, he says, the picture in your mind, then you suffer.
Mhm.
And when you became afraid of something being uncertain, you stop really exploring and
Yeah.
engaging. Okay, go with that. Really living.
Mhm.
And they say, but what's funny is that uncertainty isn't the problem. That's where all the really interesting stuff is. It's in that. And they just want to say that life is not asking for you to control it, it's asking for you to participate with it.
Mm.
And what most people are, okay, keep going, what most people are misunderstanding, they're talking collectively, and it's
Mhm.
interesting to try to decipher. So what people are mostly misunderstanding about what's going on is they don't understand what fear is. And so Steve says in his life, people assumed that he was not afraid.
Mm.
And I know that word. Oh my God. I got the crikey.
Crikey.
Yeah.
I,
He would
as
say
soon as
that.
I heard
He
it,
would
I'm like,
say
oh,
that,
I
crikey.
know
Yeah. I
that
used to
word,
watch
right?
him, so I definitely
Okay.
know.
He says,
Yeah.
I was afraid all the time.
Wow, you wouldn't know that from
Right.
watching him because his exuberance was just
So
contagious.
excited. He's so
Mm.
excited to just be here right now. Like this conversation, he's so excited about. And they both are. It's very interesting. So, but he says that he stood inches from creatures or beings that demanded
Mhm.
his full attention, that wanted to kill
Sure.
him, right? He said the absence of fear wasn't the gift, right?
Mhm.
The gift he had was understanding that fear wasn't telling him to stop. And that's what he wants to say.
Yeah.
Fear is wisdom sometimes, right? But
Mhm.
very, very often, oh man, I love how he's saying this. It's just the edge of an unknown world.
Yeah.
And if every time you feel any sort of fear, and he wants to remind that fear isn't that being scared for your physical life or physical harm.
Mhm.
It's the feeling of being too tired to do it, or not preferring that. I don't like that, or I'm not really good enough yet to go in front of those people and do that, right? That's fear. It's not just that, being afraid for your life choice, but if every time you felt fear, you turned around and went home, your life just becomes this smaller thing, right?
True.
And back to you. Okay. That what fear very often means that something really important is happening here. And he says when he started, what are you doing? Doing something, like painting on TV, right?
Yeah.
He definitely was uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
When he was apparently in the military, I think he's saying when he left that and did this, that doesn't equate at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know about his past.
Sorry,
so
that's what he's
well, it's
telling me.
interesting
Okay.
because he has such a soft energy to him, and Steve has such an exuberant energy to him. But they're both doing.
But they
they're
blend
both
beautifully.
showing
They're
up.
both very sweet. Yeah.
They're both showing up in their own life, doing what they loved.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
so they say what he's saying is that when he left to start something new, there was no confidence, right? Nothing.
Mhm.
And we imagine that confidence is going to come first, but it doesn't. It comes after. So everybody or a lot of people listening are waiting to feel ready to make the call to do the thing. You never feel ready. And adventure doesn't ask if you're ready. It just opens a door. And then your feelings, the emotions, what they want to talk to you about here is because they say that your emotions are going to tell you what you believe about yourself and walking through the door. That's what's going on. So your feelings tell you what you believe. And so many people spend so much time trying to get rid of uncomfortable feelings, right? Annoyance, resentment, any of that, right? But those feelings are revealing something, and they're showing you a thought, they're showing you a belief or an expectation that you have been holding on to that isn't true when you feel that negative emotion. So that inspiration you're hearing, and like in your case, to do this book, right? He's saying, do this book, right? Or to tell someone you love them, or to take a trip, start a business, whatever it is. And then the fear that pops up, the fear isn't coming from the thing itself. I love how they're putting this.
Wait, you just said something interesting. You said, like, they're telling you, do this book. I am doing a book.
Yeah, that's what they just said.
Yeah, I know. But the fact nobody knows that, though, that I'm in the middle of writing a book. And you just said that to me. They do. But that's why, because it's different. It's very different from anything I've ever done. And people are going to be like, whoa, you know what I mean? And then you said that, and I just caught that. I know I'm outing myself. I'm not telling nobody what it's about yet, but I'm in the process of it. So I caught that. So thank you.
Funny.
Thank you for the confirmation.
Yeah, that's
like the fear that you had to go push past to do this book. That's
different. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
It's very different.
Yeah.
But the fact that nobody knows I'm writing it right now. Now they do.
Now they do. Yeah. So I guess it was time.
Because you said it so matter of factly, do the book, just do the book. And I'm thinking, I didn't tell them I was doing a book.
Yeah, no, that's the way this stuff comes through. It comes so fast. I'm only getting out 60% of what they're giving to me. I can only go so fast, right? It's too much. So they're dying laughing right now, dying laughing. They're like, whoops, we were just trying to slide that one by you.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's great. So, but they see that everyone thinks that the fear is coming from the thing itself, from can I write the book? Can I make this, forge this different path? Can I do something different? But what the fear is actually coming from is not the thing. It's coming from what you believe about yourself and what you
Right.
believe could happen, and how then that thing could make you feel negative emotion.
Right.
And we're tying it all up together. So perhaps
Yeah.
you believe you'll fail, right? You'll be judged.
Mhm.
You'll disappoint someone else, right?
Mhm.
You're not capable of doing it, whatever all these things are, right? This canvas here with this idea or this thing to do didn't create the thoughts. It revealed the thoughts. And that
Right.
emotion is how you know what you think and what you're thinking. And that's how you discover these beliefs that are limiting you and holding you back, right? So because fear shows up and reveals itself as a belief, and then now you know, they said you don't need to be afraid. Fear
Mm.
isn't your enemy. It's just
Yeah.
helping you understand the beliefs you have that are limiting you, right?
Right.
So
Joshua has a way of saying this, that a limiting belief is like a donut. It's a belief without information. When you take the action, that experience then fills information
Yeah.
into that limiting belief, and it's no longer limiting, it becomes empowering. What would they say about that from their perspective now?
yeah, so they're going. So it's what people spend their lives doing is trying to manage the emotion, just like what Joshua was
Mhm.
saying, right? Trying to suppress the emotion,
Yeah.
trying to fix the emotion, replace it with a better emotion, right? But that's emotions. It's you wouldn't yell at a warning light on your dashboard, they say. So they'll use this donut, right?
Mhm.
You wouldn't cover it like with this happy face sticker or whatever and say, okay, well, there it is, right?
Right.
But that's what we do with uncomfortable emotions. And we distract, we numb ourselves, we avoid situations that could cause these negative emotions, and try to control every aspect of our lives so that we don't ever feel bad, right?
Yeah.
But in doing that, we miss the information. What Joshua calls the information, they're saying, they're going to
Mhm.
call even sweeter, they're going to call it a gift. When we do all of those things, we miss the gift because the emotion isn't the damn message, they say. It's so funny. That's not the message. The emotion is drawing your attention to the message. That's what they want to say. So it's let yourself get inspired and excited about writing the book, about doing the book, right? You
Mhm.
know you want to do it. And all this is, and as you move through the process, anxiety did show up, right?
Yeah. No,
Fear
I'm
did show up.
excited. And it's just, I'm
Yeah.
very excited. And when I'm writing, I'm in the flow.
Mhm.
And I can't say, but one day you'll know why when the book comes out, and you'll be like, oh, I get why she had those reservations,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I
It's
think
so
this is a good message for everybody because, and I like, you have two very different creative people living their lives, living out their creativity in very different ways, right? Bob,
Ooh, I lost her.
I went for a sec, all that energy. Yeah, we're back. That happens.
That happens.
This
That
happens to
happens
us
a
a
lot
lot.
to me too. So
Yeah.
Bob Ross, very soft spoken. I mean, basically in a room with a canvas and a paintbrush being filmed. I mean, as quiet and as calm and as beautiful but he was showing how that was something that what he was creating was beautiful. And then you have Steve Irwin, who was flying all over the world, jumping on, I mean, ultimately it did kill him, but
Mhm.
flying all over the world, but living his life the way he wanted. And he was so loved the animals and the earth and he was so exuberant in his living his creativity. So they're very two extremes, actually,
Mhm.
which is kind of
I got a
which is
question
great
here,
because
actually.
it
It is.
shows people that most of us are somewhere in the middle.
It's so cool, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
This question just came to me for Steve. Isn't his life the example of this topic right now? He pushed past fear to do what he's inspired to
Mhm.
do, and he never missed a beat. He never held
Never.
back. And from our limited perspective, we say, oh, he died doing this. And in order to avoid that, we would all live smaller lives so we don't die doing what we do. But in fact, from his perspective, that was the perfect way
to leave the planet.
Is that right?
Right.
And one of my questions with a follow-up is, how is he helping from now this greater perspective? The same, you know, the animals that he loves so much, you know, from this bigger perspective.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So he's really using that accent, which I think just mostly to entertain me because I can't copy it. But like he says, mate, he says, mate. Yeah. If I waited till I was not afraid, I would never have done anything ever, like ever. So his fear was always there, right? He says in his life, but fear wasn't making his decisions. That's what he wants you to understand, right? That's the distinction. So that's his whole life, right? Was a perfect example of that. He says, so sometimes you hear, people will hear a conversation like this, like what we're having, and assume that our goal is to eliminate fear first. And it isn't. They say that's not it. It's the goal is to understand it, to listen to it, to learn from it, right? And then sometimes you understand you have to move anyway, even while the fear is still there, right? And that's where he says his life was an extra beautiful example of these things and this stuff that, you know, Joshua and White Light talk about, which is that fear and inspiration exist simultaneously. They have to, right? Yeah. They're just both sides of essentially the same coin, right? And that,
I don't know anybody who doesn't have anxieties or fears about, you know, whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like you just have to do it anyway. You have to push yourself through it. Because trying to stop the fear, you're going to stop yourself. You have to just say, I'm afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Disaster. Even if I bake this cake and it's a disaster, I'm going to do it anyway, right?
Yeah. And there's a process for that. They're saying, and it's not an elephant that you can just bite. Some desires are so big and the fear is small, so the ability to jump over it is there. But if the desire is here and the fear is even with it, just doing it anyway takes process and takes steps, takes understanding what we believe and softening that belief, helping ourselves understand that that's really not true, and then taking the next step and the next step and the next step. So they're moving really fast. Okay, so he said one of his biggest surprises, this is Steve, his biggest surprises after leaving this physical life was realizing that the animals didn't need saving in the way he thought they did. That's interesting. He says they needed respect, partnership, and humans to remember that they belonged, right? But when he was alive, he says his mission was this, what he calls conservation. And now what he sees from his perspective is conservation was about consciousness. It was about helping humans actually to remember that they are a whole big part of nature and not separate from it, right? So his work now, he says, what his interest is now from his perspective is less about individual animals and more about influencing human awareness. His interest has shifted there.
I love that.
The animals do their own thing. And he says it's not through force, right? Shifting or intervention at all, right? That's not it. But it's through inspiration. And
that's beautiful.
He says, so in the same way that we might think of guides and ancestors, non-physical supporters, right? That sort of thing. He says, if someone suddenly feels compelled to protect a habitat, or a kid develops a fascination with wildlife or nature, right? Somebody just feels their heart open while they see a dolphin or a bird or whatever, right? Those are the moments, he says, those are the moments that matter, and that's where the change begins. So they have conversation together sometimes too. It's interesting. He says, "So you're still teaching?" It's
He is still
funny.
teaching, and we only have a minute, less than a minute left. Oh
I'm
my
gonna shut up
God,
then.
it's crazy.
It goes really fast.
I could go
It
on
really
and
does.
on. Thank
Sorry.
you, Steve,
Yeah,
and thank you,
it's
Bob.
fast.
But people, how can they get a hold of Christy and Gary? So I
Go
want to
ahead, Gary.
tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, and I'll have all that listed. Thank you so much, Christy. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you can just go to the teachingsofjoshua.com or Google Gary Temple Bodley or Christy Levy. You'll find us there. You'll see the podcasts. And the two different podcasts are basically two ways of learning about the same thing, which is perspective and limiting beliefs.
Perfect. Well,
When you get those,
I
handle
loved
those.
it. I had so much fun with you two. Thank you so much,
too.
guys. Please check them out. Oh God, what a fun
You're
show.
darling. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for listening to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa, creating the life you crave. And I'm wishing everyone a wonderful week filled with joy, abundance, and love. Peace. Bye, everybody.